Hi guys. Um, Felt I wanted to do another video of practice tarot. Um, I felt a spiritual guide giving me a new spread that I just wrote down. Um, and I felt the topic right now should be on addictions. Um, from my interpretations, because from the previous video that I posted in this, I'm also a recovering addict. Um, I call this the Pentacle Spread. So I wanted to do what to know about addictions. I prayed to Santa Marta, Holy Death. I prayed to my ancestors. I prayed to Odin that truth come through me, unconditional love, that people may feel love and peace and self-reflection of their own unconditional love as I do the spread. Please bless those that see this video and bless everyone else. So with that, the spread is called the Pentacle Spread, and it's going to be on the nature of addiction. Okay. When I start throwing cards, I either go by, I do the top up, or I spread them out to whatever feels intuitive or whatever my thought process, whatever I hear in my head. I feel the guides want me to intuitively pick a card in the spread. First one is Earth. The physical. I pulled the Death card. In this instance, even though death is change, you'll notice that there's chains. So first and foremost, I feel this card is dealing with anger. I feel this card is dealing with change and feeling chained. I feel in this instant from my own nature of fearing change, of the anger of change, of the anger that I want to avoid. I see the D and I see that there's a D on his shirt. the first word to come up is destruction. Destruction. There's some form of destruction um, dealing with addiction. Destructive nature of addiction. The feeling of overwhelming. I feel in this context, the death card is definitely about anger, fear, feeling chained, but also having the fear of change, um, and fearing that. I feel this needs to be also pulled for Earth is the Two of Wands. Wands to me is about fire. It's about actions, passions, um, and dealing with that. Um, two would be coming together, would be two opposing sides coming together. The clash, but also about marriage. In this instance, I feel that the fire of the action, the fire of the suction of fire running through us. Duality of addiction. It's a dual nature. It's both spiritual and physical. The feeling of overwhelmed. You got two forces. You got two things on the opposite sides that mirror each other. Um, so in this instance, I feel the overwhelming of life, the feeling of being overwhelmed, um, and the physical body becoming addicted to it. I feel that process addiction happens first. You do the process over and over again if you have the addictive nature. Air. Seven of Cups reversed. The water is draining away. Um, Again, the feeling of overwhelmed. But this also is distraction. Um, for me, it's hard to see everything in one picture. And air, I'm placing this in the air category in the pentacle. The element of air, which is thoughts, challenges, spirits, in those nature. The sphere of mental. Um, for me, myself, and I'm not speaking for anyone else, and I'm not an expert, I'm just a recovering addict. Um, the addiction distracts me. The addiction keeps me from having to think about what's going on uh, from the previous uh, physicality. I want to avoid it at all costs. Um, in doing so, I don't want to feel. This card is about not feeling also. Um, The water is draining away from your body. And to do that, the process addiction is being distracted by my addictive nature, not dealing with spirit. Next, we get fire, which is passions, social, energetic nature. Three of Pentacles, reversed. In this context, this is dealing with stagnation. Addiction brings stagnation. The only thing that's growing in the addiction is addiction. Our social, everything is affected. Our energy level is affected. Our aura is affected. Our spirit's affected. In this context, we're starting to be pushed down. See the two cards up here feel like the oppressive nature, where you feel that there's a lot of oppressiveness happening. We're being pushed down. Feels like we're being pushed down. The overwhelmingness is affecting our passions. It's affecting our energy level. It's affecting everything. The overwhelming life changes, not being able, not having coping mechanisms, not having anything that deals in that nature. The not wanting to express our emotions, not wanting to deal with them, and the thought processes of being distracted, of wanting to distract ourselves, and the addictiveness, not deal with the challenges. This is affecting our energy, passion, social, work. It affects the whole being, the energy level, and that's inspired. Okay, this card keeps wanting to fall out. Ace of Cups in water. Which is emotions, intuitiveness, healing. I don't know how this plays into the reading, but our addiction is also a strength somehow. The feeling I'm getting from this card is we deal with our emotions differently than what we call normal people. What I mean in that context is people that are addicts. We call them normies in our recovery scene. We process emotions differently. I feel an overwhelming, you can talk about, it feels like we're being overwhelmed. So we're somewhat selfish in our nature, but that's part of the illness and addiction. Because we're feeling pain. Our healing is delayed. We're feeling oppressed. We're feeling like we're in a prison. And our addiction is both, we know it's both prison, but we also feel it's key. If I keep using, I'll die. But the using for me, it's step one is um, the overwhelm. I I am an addict. My life has become overwhelmed. So in this context, um, we're feeling overwhelmed, and we're using addiction to try and open the door out. We don't know how to deal with life. I feel our coping mechanisms are off, and this is our coping mechanism. Um, I've always said that my addiction was the cure for my mental illness and shortcomings until it stopped working. And that's what I feel this card is talking about. Um, it was my cure until it stopped working. Spirit, the whole being, spiritual matters. Um, Sculpt, sculpt thinking, the whole being, spiritual guides, deities, all that. Knight of Swords. Spirit brings a message, but sometimes that message or will cut. Um, Spirit's always trying to reach out to us, no matter what. Spirit is trying to do better than what we used to do. Um, but the fast acting in this, I feel this card is talking about the Knight of Swords, the messenger, the warrior, spirit guides especially. Um, what is your message? They're here for us. They're here for me. They're here for you. Um, I feel that they're trying to cut through everything. Um, the overwhelmingness and the lack of spiritual values. When I say spiritual values, I'll talk about me. Because I avoid anything spiritual when I'm in my addiction. Um, they're saying that they're here. Spirit's here for us. We just have to reach out for the addiction. But we need to cut, and they will help cut through it. We just have to ask. But we're also feeling overwhelmed and not knowing what to do. We keep relying on old coping mechanisms, old behaviors to get us through the change. We keep doing the same actions over and over again, hoping that this time will change. It's hopelessness that we're feeling. In the dead of night, look at the card night. We're racing through everything. Feel that we're in the night, blind, and the Spirit's with us. It's a guiding light. It will protect us. The soul. Five of Cups. In the spread, soul means our lessons. What we need to learn. in this lifetime. Uh, what is your message, Five of Cups? It's not. It's learning. Using judicial tarot. Couple of the cups are turned over. They're spilled, but they're still couple upright, and that's what flashed in my mind is the Rider Waite Five of Cups. But in this aspect, it's learning to, I want to say, a word that keep coming to my mind, don't cry over spilt milk. Um, Not to be dragged down. Um, Not to feel isolated. Not to be drowning within self doubt. Not to be addiction keeps us apart from, but in reality we're not. It's about remembering that no matter what. It's about learning that there's always change going to happen. One day we may be high up, next day we could be down low. But it also means keep going distance. Fives are about change. Cups are about healing emotions and stuff like that. The feeling of overwhelmed being. Am I missing anything from the whole spread? Addiction starts out as a process, then becomes physical. Um, in my case, I can never speak for any other addict except me and how I express myself. Um, is that I was always overwhelmed. My addiction was my cure until it stopped being my cure and became part of the problem. Uh, the not wanting to address or self-reflect, to avoid self-reflection at all costs. The flailing, not being able to move forward, always feeling self-doubt, not being able to burn through my blockages, um, the guilt of being so selfish, um, of being in pain that I became. I don't know if I was always selfish or if my addiction. There's two parts to it. Yes, there's always been a selfishness. I brought that over from a past life. But my selfishness grew within the context of addiction and living this life. Um, Spirit guides are about being rescued and the challenges in having help. Um, The soul message, the heart of the message, is that the way we deal with loss in this lifetime, but the way of dealing with overwhelm. Um, Even though there's content spilled out, there's still remaining left. Whether what happens, it happens. But there's always that hope, hopefully. Um, Again, this is only my interpretation. Thank you. Have a blessed day.